Neat. Hello, my friend. You are currently in my cupboard. Oh my gosh. Am I Joshua Wiseman right now? Maybe. Anyway, you're in my cupboard, and it is okay. You can tell me I look fantastic in highlighter yellow. I know it does great things for my complexion. Anyway, I am currently making my world famous chocolate chip cookies. And I say world famous, and I mean me famous. I like them, and the chocolate chip cookies I always make. And I guess I don't really know why I was recording this. Maybe it's an excuse to give you my chocolate chip cookie recipe so you can try it and compliment me and say, wow, Faith, those really are the best cookies I've ever had in my life. You're amazing. So if you could leave that in the comments, that'd be great. Thank you. I'm gonna get back to it. I need a measuring cup. Here's the thing, I don't usually measure, but because I'm trying to show off for you, you nerds, I am getting a measuring cup. Oh, look over here. This is none of your business. Life without Cosette means nothing to me. All right, folks, the first step, cream your butter and sugar together. 1 cup butter. Well, that's not true. Yeah, no, it is true. 1 cup butter, 1 cup white sugar, 1 cup brown sugar. I usually use dark brown sugar because science for you. The way that they make brown sugar is it has molasses in it. And so light brown sugar has less molasses and dark brown sugar has more molasses. And so if you want like a deeper, more like caramelly flavor in your cookie, 1, you could brown your butter. And if you brown your butter, add like a tablespoon or 2 of water because it needs to have that moisture back up. But 2, use brown sugar, dark brown sugar, because not only will it make a softer, like gooier cookie, but it will also be delicious in flavor because of the molasses. Step 2 is add way too much vanilla. The amount of vanilla, I've made 1 batch of cookies. Way too much vanilla, okay? Way too much vanilla. Next, you're going to add the vanilla. You're going to add salt, about a teaspoon of baking soda. I don't measure, I just throw it in there. And then probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. That makes your cookie nice and soft and delicious. Very good. Then I add, depending on the day, the moisture in the air, how I'm feeling, what my husband wants, because he likes a nice, just the flattest cookies you've ever seen. I will add anywhere from 2 to 2.5 cups of flour. I prefer, personally, like 2 1/4, 2.5, somewhere in there. And that's my cookie recipe. Beat it up. Oh my gosh, you have to add the chocolate chips then. I can't believe I forgot to mention it. Like, I didn't say this was my famous chocolate chip cookie recipe, and then you're not gonna add chocolate chips? What kind of crazy person am I? Oh my gosh. What an idiot. I forgot the eggs. I always forget something. 2 eggs. I swear, I've never made a batch of cookies where I haven't forgotten at least 1 ingredient. It's usually eggs or like baking soda. 2 whole eggs. If you want to go crazy, you can do an egg yolk, an extra egg yolk, because of the fat will make them tastier and meltier. But again, the face of someone who would have an egg, no, never in my life. All right, in terms of cookie dough, I like this kind of texture. Look at the mess I made with the flour. Anyway, after this point, I throw it in the fridge. Hello, my friends. Back in the cupboard you are. Yoda, I guess I am. I have my cookie dough that we made the other day. It's been in the fridge for several days, like 2 days probably, and it looks delicious. And legally, I should tell you that you cannot eat raw cookie dough. It will give you dysentery or something. I don't know. But I thought we could do a little experiment with the cookie dough for fun. So what I'm gonna do is figure out what temperature is best to bake my cookie dough recipe at, and whether it's best to use parchment paper or a greased pan. And that's what this experiment is gonna be. And there was something else I wanted to do. Oh, I wanted to try maybe room temp versus refrigerated. So I was gonna leave, like after I figure out, maybe that's too much work. I don't know. Do I wanna endeavor that far? I'm already gonna make like 12 cookies, which doesn't sound like that much, but it's 4 cookies at a time. Because I'm gonna put 2 of one type in the front and the back. You know what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. So, okay, let me just, this, I get it. It's really messy. We had a potluck on Sunday. So I made the cookie dough Friday, I think, maybe Saturday, I can't remember. Sunday, potluck at church. Monday, today is Tuesday. I haven't cleaned up as much as I should. But also, in my defense, I'm sick in like 3 different ways. Plus, my big toe really hurts. So I have my windows open because it's like 60 degrees out and the wind is blowing, so it's cooling the house off, which is why I figured it'd be a great time to cook, because the heat of the oven is not going to heat up the house any more than it's usually the temperature's at anyway. It's a great time to cook. But because of that, there's a neighbor that's walking in and out of their house. And what if they hear me talking to myself? How embarrassing! Really technical size here. That was a little big. Give me a second. Wonk. 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 These are all for me, so I'm not worried about handling them so much. Don't eat raw cookie dough. This is cooked cookie dough. Anyway, oven just finished preheating. First set, 325. Scary stuff. Okay, this is not at all what I was expecting. I thought that the oiled pan would make the cookies spread more, but the parchment paper spread more, which kind of makes sense because they baked better on the stick pan. I don't know. It's not non-stick, so is it just stick pan? I don't know. Anyway, a few things that are important for me to know. Let me start reading the other more. Number 1, I burnt the first batch of 325 cookies because I forgot that I was making cookies. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Number 2, when you bake cookies, what I like to do, and it's a Joshua Weissman technique, it's in his cookbook under his cookie recipe. You know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, it's a Joshua Weissman technique to spank your cookies. Give them a good swat, okay? Every 5 minutes is what he does, and I usually do that, but also sometimes I don't do that. But just give them at least one good spanking early on, because then they end up chewier and better and deliciousier. If I were a real chef, I would cool those on a cooling rack. I feel like you're supposed to, but I did not do that, and I do not care. If you wanted a real chef, go somewhere else. The third thing I wanted you to know that I forgot about was that I accidentally, like an old person, filmed the inside of my cabinet the last time that I tried to do one of these little talking points between the cookies. So obviously I didn't use that. This tea is cold now. That's good. And also, okay, listen. A few things. I have to take those out in just a minute, my cookies. Have you ever watched a video back of yourself and you're like, wow, I didn't know that I looked like that. And then you kind of were like, okay, so I need to stand up straight and I need to stand in the correct lighting so my face doesn't look like I'm dead. That's how I'm feeling. And I'm trying so hard not to care. But my goodness, my posture is not good. It's ready to come out. It really is. I burnt myself already, okay? It's kind of a little bit scary. Scary in the way that, like, taxes are scary. Okay. I think I'm just gonna pick you up and move you. I don't wanna have to get a secondary lighting system just to take a video of some cookies, okay? So it's not gonna be lit well. But these are the 325, these are the 350, and honestly, you can't really see much of a difference in the way that they look. I baked them so that way they'd both be at a golden brown stage, but you can see that these parchment ones are a little bit thinner than these parchment ones, and that's interesting. And so these, in terms of size, these look pretty similar, the pan and the parchment. The pan are thicker, but the parchment are have a little stoutness to them. And these ones, let's see, really, really thin versus pretty thick. And I'm not gonna pick these up, they're still very hot, but that's what we're working with. Okay guys, do you wanna hear something crazy? 375 cooked way faster. Never would have saw that coming. That's wild. So I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to bake another 375 batch. Those were in for like, probably like 13 or 14 minutes. So I would probably, if you were going to bake them at 375, put the cutoff at 12 minutes. I don't know, should I bake them again? I don't think I'm going to. Okay, so it's been about an hour since I started. I got the dough that is room temperature sitting on the counter. I got the fridge dough and I got my freezer dough. And we're gonna do that next. But I wanted to talk about my cookies real fast one more time. You've already seen these, you've already seen these guys. You've already seen these guys. You haven't seen these guys up close and personal. They are flaming hot. I don't want to touch them. They're not burnt. They are well done, that is for sure. But the size difference between the parchment and the pan is not that much. And let's just do it anyway. They're thinner. Woo-hoo! They're thinner. The bottom's a darker bottom. Probably the same on all of these. Yeah, darker bottom on the pan side, which is interesting. Not really. I mean, we could expect that. But the thinness, a little bit thicker, pretty thick. And so what I think I'm gonna do for this new batch, okay, stand up, okay. Excuse me, sir. What I think I'm gonna do for this new batch is a 350 parchment paper bake. Because I think those are the ones that, in terms of size and style and texture or whatever, let's just taste them real fast actually. So I already know, I'm not a fan of this sort of thickness of a cookie. To each their own, but that's not mine. I think I want to do parchment paper, and there's that look. I accidentally did too much cornstarch. When you add too much cornstarch, it makes it a little more cakey. I tell you what, spanking it does wonders. It's a good cookie. Okay, and the 325. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm surprised by this. I think I'm gonna do 325. That's a good cookie. Do you want to see the texture up close? Yeah, you can tell the difference. I don't know if it's too close for you. Don't judge how close my face is. Which one is which? Okay, yeah, 325. You can see it, right? I hope it's in focus. And then 350. There's a difference. Isn't that wild? I like the 325 better. So that's what I'm gonna do. Straight up, I was about ready just to do 350 because that's what I always do, because I thought that's what I'm gonna like for a cookie is 350. Okay, I need you to remember this because I don't think I will. Room temp, refrigerator, frozen, okay? Room temp, refrigerator, frozen. I'm trying to move as quickly as possible because I don't want to affect the baking stuff, but you can really tell which one was frozen, which one was not. This is gonna be interesting, folks. This will be neat. That was just in the first 5 minutes. That was my first 5-minute spanking. So this will be interesting to see. Something to keep in mind if you're gonna try to do this experiment on your own chocolate chip cookie recipes, because that's a normal thing that people do every day. The more butter there is in the cookie, the more it will spread. And so if you want it to not spread so much, frozen would probably be better if you want it to not spread so much. I already said that. That's redundant. So, coming like a sugar cookie, it always tells you to refrigerate it. But that's because there's so much butter in a sugar cookie. My husband just got home. Okay. This is interesting indeed. Room temp, refrigerator, frozen.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
So these ones cooked faster, obviously, because they were not as cool. And these ones almost look like they're not baked all the way. They're probably delicious. I guess I don't know what to say. I want to let them cool so I can try them. So the frozen ones are really, really soft, as you would expect if they're not quite baked through all the way. And these room temp ones are more crisp, and the other fridge ones are kind of nice. So there's that. Okay, so I started the dryer, so the audio for this is gonna be a little whack, but this is the situation we've got. Frozen. My husband ate some of them, so. Frozen, that's the texture that we're looking at. Refrigerated. Interesting situation. The room temp. All very curious. And you can see the difference. Room temp, refrigerated. And then if this were a whole cookie, but it's a puzzle piece. A puzzle I can solve. Room temp, refrigerated, frozen. All very different kinds of cookies. You want a bite?
Done.
In conclusion, the whole family likes the 325 frozen cookie. Isn't that good? 325, 17 minutes, frozen, delicious, on parchment paper. That's the way to do it. I've never filmed an outro before because I've never really finished a video, so I guess goodbye. If you bake these cookies, tell me how you do, if it's bye.